G'day, mate. We're down under just 2 days from the start of the World Tournament.
Adam, you had a country accent at the award show and now this Australian accent?
Production never sleeps, Matt.
It's showtime. This is The Ski Show, the ultimate show ski podcast, and your one and only source for all things show skiing, bringing you news, knowledge, and interviews with the legends and stars of our sport. Here are your hosts, Matt Heilman and Adam Schaller.
Welcome to The Ski Show, still the only media on the planet dedicated to the sport of show skiing. And when we say planet, we mean it, because today we are going global. We are talking with Pete O'Neill in the land down under. He is the tournament host for the World Tournament in Mawela, Australia, just a couple of days away from now. Super exciting. So glad to have Pete on the show to talk all things World Tournament.
And today's sponsors are Flyman Skis, custom-made jump skis and featherboard swivel skis at affordable prices. You can get yours at flymanskis.com. The Paul Stokes Agency at American Family Insurance. Let Paul be your insurance agent. And by Sega Sports. It stands for Ski and Gymnastics Academy, and they do water ski lessons and trampoline training. Check them out at segasports.us.
Been quite a whirlwind past couple of months, Adam. You know, we had prep for the award show. We had an awesome, successful award show, an incredible think tank weekend. And now it's World Tournament. We're here. As you know, David Raisin and I are co-show directors. The planning and prep is complete. Now it's time to see what Team USA can do on the world stage. Adam, it's your fifth. Is this your fifth out of six World Tournaments? Is that right?
5 out of 6, and the OCD in me wishes it was 6 out of 6, just so I could say it's 6 out of 6.
Yep. The only, and you people probably have heard or seen this in social media, but the only member who is 6 for 6 now is David Raisin.
Yep.
Joe Sawaska was, and Angela Yockler were 5 out of 5. But neither are with us this go round. So Rays is the only 6-time member. Pretty amazing for him.
Last man standing.
Yeah.
Good job.
How are you feeling heading into this show?
Great. Really
Good.
great. Just a great crew, great team. Really looking forward to work with Colin on stage, and I've got my comfort level, obviously, with Jackie from Mad City doing sound. Yep. It's just, this is going to be awesome.
Yep, I'm excited. The show's coming together. It's going to be exciting. Whether you're watching our show in Mawela, you're here, or you are watching at home, the tournament is webcast. And just for those of you at home, Mawela is 17 hours ahead of the Central Time Zone. So what does that mean? Well, if you tune into the webcast, Individuals is on Friday in Mawela. That means it's on Thursday night in the United States. So 3:30 p.m. Central on Thursday starts Individuals, and it'll run till, let's call it 10:30 p.m. So 3:30 to 10:30 Thursday night will be Individuals. And then there's 2 days of shows, and similar timing Saturday and Sunday. If you tune in 3:30 p.m. Friday, that'll be about the first show on the water Saturday morning in Mawela. Watch Friday night, you get all the Saturday shows. And then your Saturday night will be the Sunday shows. So 3:30 till, call it 10:30, will be all of the Sunday shows. So make sure that you are blocking your Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings if you're at home to watch the World Tournament.
And where do you watch that?
We're going to share a link when we get one. I haven't seen it, or it's already, by the airing of this episode, it might already be shared out on our socials. There's a webcast link. So we'll chat a little bit with Pete about this, but what might the audience expect from our Team USA show? What are they going to see, Adam?
Well, if you saw the 2022 show, I think the structure is going to be pretty similar to that, but definitely I would think the difference between 22 and 25 is just we had loaded female talent in 2022. It's even more so in 2025. Like what these girls are doing is mind blowing.
Yeah. Like we're going to have that quad female front flip. We're going to have a double one ski front flip with girls. So we have this all girls act that people are going to want to see. We're again going to have, 3 different jump acts, a 2-ski jump act, a 1-ski jump act, and then a mob type act that's going to have some spectacular stuff. We're going to have that long swivel and strap doubles act that people loved. It's the back and forth for multiple passes, super high flow, good driving, all the things. So we're going to have that again. Should have a fast-paced show. Our run-throughs last time we did them were pretty quick, so it should be fast, should be exciting. And theme-wise, Adam, we're going to do Johnny's All-American Diner, or the Mad City show from a couple years ago, but a twist on it.
Yep, Johnny's All-American Diner back in the 50s, but with a little down-under twist, you bet.
Yep, so that'll be fun, a little rewrite of that script.
Matt, who will have a presence at the World Tournament? Flyman Skis.
Yeah, they sure will. Every country's going to have Flyman skis in their arsenal. They make custom-made jump skis, pairs, single skis, and more. And they make custom featherboard swivel skis in a variety of sizes. I personally think the featherboard swivel ski is the best buy in the market right now.
Yeah, both of our daughters went through the custom process to make their featherboard swivel skis, and they turned out great. And it was fun. It was easy to have a ski that's one of a kind. It's yours. There's no other ski like it. These skis are made for skiers by skiers, and they are affordable.
Get your jump skis and featherboard swivel skis at flymanskis.com. That's flymanskis.com. All right, time for this week's hot takes. Adam, what do you got?
All right, this one's easy. This is going to be the most competitive world tournament to date.
Yep.
I mean, it's in Australia. 2020 got canceled. That Australian team is just raring to go, and all the other teams. Every world tournament, they just keep getting better and better and better. So I think this is going to be a real good one for sure.
It is, man. I mean, we're walking into the Lions' Den, right?
Yes,
they're at home. They're hosting. Yep. They're awesome. And we've got to be ready, right? So it's going to be fun. That makes it fun for the world, fun for show skiing, fun for people to watch all these shows.
Yeah.
And if people haven't watched the World Tournament closely in the past, the variety of things you see in a World Tournament is unlike a show ski tournament in the States. Different acts, funny stuff, different themes. The comedy comes across differently from different countries. They're funnier than us.
Yeah, they toe the line.
They push the envelope, right? Yeah.
I think they can get away with more than we do, and that's totally fine because it's fun to watch, it's fun to listen to, and I'm glad they toe the line because it's funny.
Well, my hot take is also about the World Tournament, but my hot take is that since the advent of the World Tournament in 2012, I believe the World Tournament has been the single most important thing in the sport of show skiing in the last, let's call it 30 years. And not just the world's, and really not the World Tournament itself. It's what it does for our sport. I think it's been the most important thing because it's done so many things since 2012. So this is absent membership numbers. You might look at USA Water Ski membership numbers and they've maybe stayed static in the time since Worlds. Big deal. What the World Tournament has done and why it is, in my opinion, the most important thing is on multiple levels. One is the pushing of skills because of Worlds. For one, all these people ski together, push each other. They've gotten to know each other now. The competition is higher within our country because people have their sights set on being on Team USA, and they're competing with and against these talented people. They know what the bar is, and then they push each other to raise that bar. So from a talent standpoint, the bar continues to be raised because we have a World Tournament every 2 years. And on that, it's a dream for people to make Team USA. It's a goal and a dream. And when you set your sights on that goal and dream, it pushes you to be better. And so there's been a lot of reasons why it's awesome. It's pushed our country and our skills further. And the camaraderie piece is second to none. Like the friends and teammates we've been able to have over the years has been so important, and the collaboration and the things we do together, and then we go back to our home teams and share that out, the things that all these skiers learn on Team USA from each other, and then it goes back into the system. I just think the World Tournament has been the most important thing for our sport to happen to our sport in probably the last 30 years.
Yeah, and that's just the USA. Don't forget our conversation with Levin, what he's doing over there in Europe.
Yeah.
Because of the World Tournament, right? I mean,
Yeah.
show skiing is growing over there. So, yes, I would agree.
And we're going to talk to Pete, and I'm guessing Team Australia is growing as a result of all this. Like, it's been an important thing to have over the last now 12, 13 years. So that is this week's Hot Takes. All right, before we get to our interview with Aussie Pete O'Neill, we need to chat about Sega Sports.
Yes, we do, Matt. Sega stands for Ski and Gymnastics Academy, and they are doing great things for show skiing. They offer water ski lessons of all types, and they also offer trampoline training, which is so beneficial, tons of reps without the hard falls.
Yep, they were a think tank, and it was fantastic. John Hovda was there with the trampoline. He himself has trained with Matt May and Dave Reinhardt, and he's now giving back and training the next young crop of show skiers. Check out Sega Sports and get all the amazing training you need to take your skills to the next level. Find them at segasports.us. That's segasports.us.
All right, time for today's featured guest. As you know, the World Tournament was scheduled to be in Australia in 2020, but a global pandemic put a stop to that just days before the tournament was to begin. Australia was heartbroken, but were awarded another opportunity this year to host the World Tournament. This is going to be fun because this guest himself is fun. Let's welcome to the show Aussie skiing legend and tournament chair for the World Tournament, Mr. Pete O'Neill. Hey, Pete.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Doing
Great,
great.
Pete. Great to have you. It's
Great to be on the show.
This episode is just a couple of days before the World Tournament, so we're excited to talk to you all about that. Excited for you guys to be able to host. Are you guys ready for this tournament?
Absolutely not. We've got a bathtub that we're filling up with water now, and hopefully that'll be big enough to ski in. No, we think so. It's so hard to know, Matt. So
Yeah.
we've put a ton of time and effort into it. It's been really great. It's been an awesome experience for our team to sort of rebond over it and get together. We've poured everything we've got into it. We're as ready as we can be. But, I mean, until you guys come, we don't know. Hopefully when you get here, you'll be blown away by the whole thing and be like, oh, this is great. So.
Did you guys learn anything from 2020?
I was just gonna ask that.
Like,
yeah.
Did you take anything away from that? Is there anything to learn there or not in terms of your tournament prep?
Definitely. So a lot of things became easier. So, I mean, one of it, like just it's little things, right? Like with the site, the way the site was set up, we were used to having a lot smaller teams and not doing as big a rack. So, the first time we did it, we sent out we didn't even realize we needed to send out a site plan, in the first time. And now that seems so comical that we didn't do that, So, that thing came on top of like understanding the sort of the politics behind the scenes, and not that that's a bad thing, but like who does what and how that all works. That's been really handy to have that already up our sleeve. And budgeting, and there's a lot of things that we had a bit more of a playbook for this time, so that made it a lot easier. But the big thing we learnt was that how much everybody loves it. So like when the disappointment of the whole thing really brought home how similar we all are, and that while it's important to have this really professional event and do everything to the best of our abilities, that it's okay to ask for help. And you Matt, you would have noticed I've reached out to you a whole heap of times this time just for your advice and stuff. So that became like probably the big lesson is that we're all the same.
We are, and it's funny you say that we're all the same because one of the things that's interesting. So with this, we recently just had our think tank in Wisconsin, this big water ski convention, and talking to a bunch of our skiers about, are you excited for Australia? Excited for the trip? And the number one thing they're most excited for is to hang out with the other teams.
Yeah.
To hang out and go to the social nights, the dinners you have planned, and just hang out with the others. Like, they love that component, and we are all one in show skiing, and that's super cool.
Yeah, and I can't keep it out of the emails. I'll email a team and like I can't not say, I can't wait for you to be here because it's literally like I'm so looking forward to hanging out with the family again.
Yeah, that's cool.
Very cool.
I can't wait.
What can people expect in terms of weather? Like what's the weather over there?
Well, in March, we're expecting good weather. So we're expecting calm weather. That's one of the reasons we have events in March, and we run a lot of events like national championships and like barefoot tournaments and so we run all the big events in March, and that's because we generally get fairly calm weather. So we're hoping that that stays true. Daytime temperatures, like the way you guys work out temperature is insane. So I'm guessing you're going to have between sort of 80 and 90 for during the day, sort of into the low 70s in the mornings. And then night times sort of in the 60s to 70s. But for everybody else in the world, somewhere around sort of 25 to 35.
We will never go to the metric system. We're just too stubborn for that.
Inches, feet, miles, and Fahrenheit, baby. That's how we roll.
Someone was telling me this when I was a kid about how expensive it would have been for America to switch over to metric system years ago. I was like, oh, I get why, but now as an adult, I'm like, my God, that must cost some money. Just that there's millions of dollars in switching between imperial and metric.
It's so confusing. Confusing.
Oh, it's great.
Pete, tell us about the social nights that you've got planned. You've got like theme nights. Yeah.
So one of the ways we thought Australia could get a real advantage was to get all of you guys just as drunk as possible the whole time you're here. So
and have a ski in March. Have us coming off our winter. Yeah, I know what you're doing. It's a calm month. BS. Yeah.
We thought it through. No, look when we travel. Like when Australia has travelled overseas, one of the big issues is getting the team fed every night and, having a place to socialise that is in, like within reach of everything. Like the last thing you want to do is be 3 days into a training thing and go, all right, what are we doing for dinner? We don't know when the restaurants are, So we thought this would be a great way to get all the teams together to hang out because like we talked about before, like, it's just great to hang out. And, teams can get fed. Our ski club is, like it's such an amazing place for people that haven't been here before. It's an incredible place. So to get people back there is really cool. We just want to, welcome you all into our home, really. So yeah, so having a social night and theming it each night, it's just a bit of fun. That the club have really run away with it, and they should be really good, fun nights. I'm really hoping that they are in years to come, maybe they become part of the minutiae of water ski shows.
Yeah, very cool.
So, Pete, for our listeners who don't know who you are, give us a little bit of a history on your background. Professional barefooter, show skier. Tell us a little bit about you.
Professional's a word I wouldn't use. I haven't been paid too much to be a barefooter over the years. In fact, I think it might have set my
barefooter.
Competitive barefooter. Yeah, look, I grew up in the barefoot scene. I was, I've been skiing in the Barefoot Nationals and the Barefoot World Championships for, I think I've been on 20 Australian barefoot teams.
Wow.
So I did that. And then when I was I think I was 20, I bought a little water ski shop here in Yarrawonga or Mulwala, the New South Wales side, and got to know a bunch of show skiers. And in my time barefooting, like I'd grown up with a family on the water and could wakeboard and, barefoot and learnt to ski jump. And, all of a sudden I was a show skier. And then the following year, the guy that was running the shows left and suddenly it was my job to put on the show. So it became a show skier. And then Australian show ski sort of took off about 10 years later when, they formed a group and we started having competitions, and next thing you know, we're at a world championships. Yeah, so I just got dragged along for the ride, really.
But now you're in charge of the ride.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about in charge of the ride. I like to think I speak for the majority of people in our show team that don't like to speak in public. That's about the best I can say as far as being in charge. And the good news is I'm not even in charge for much longer. Like, we don't think it's a great idea to have me as a show director in charge of the World Championships, for the World Championships. That's not, we'd love it to not be the case. We just don't have enough people. So Calvin Westengreen sort of takes over that role next week. And I can step back and just focus on the Australian team. It'd be great.
All right.
Speaking of Australian team, how many world teams have you been on? Have you been on all of them?
I've been on not all of them. I missed the first one. And then again, I don't really know how this happened. I ended up as one of the show directors for the second one and then have been the show director since. And so, yeah, skied on. And then we missed 2022 or Florida. We missed Florida.
Yep.
That was pretty tough to bear, especially watching that footage. Like, as much as we loved the live stream, it was also heartbreaking to watch the live stream. But so we missed that one.
Well, were you guys in Canada?
Yeah, we were in Canada. Yeah,
You were? Okay. Okay. Yep.
yeah. Canada was. We did our Toy Story show in Canada, so we
That's
had
right.
a good time in Canada.
So that was the last one you were at, though.
Last one I was at.
2018.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, and it's hard to believe that. Yes, just nearly 10 years ago.
Right?
Yeah, it seems like forever ago, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's insane. So you've been on nearly every Aussie team. Did I recall correctly? You won an MVP at Worlds once, correct?
In Canada, yeah.
You were a male MVP in 2018.
I think, yeah.
Is that it? Yep.
Yep.
Awesome.
2018 was MVP. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I kind of, because I'm the loud one, I think I stood out. Maybe, I don't know. I definitely did. I didn't jump in that show, and some of our jumpers in that show were amazing. So, yeah. But no,
Are you a jumper?
That show Nationals was really, that show Worlds was really cool, and it was the first one out of America, and it was good to see how it all rolled. And then we were going to take on 2020, and then fell in a heap at the last minute.
Yeah.
So talk to us about that. 2020, all the build up, all the excitement for you guys, and then
Everybody's there. All the teams are there.
Teams are there. And then it falls apart. There's a pandemic, right? So, like, we've told the story in the podcast. We're literally getting on a plane, and U.S. is shutting down. But we finally get out, and we get.
We
to
think we're going to
Australia.
outrun it. We're like,
Yeah, we did. We thought we were going to outrun it. We get there, and we're like, it's all good. We're here finally. And then, obviously, the heartbreaking ending. Talk us through that and what that did to you guys and how heartbreaking that was.
Well, look, it was really tough. I mean, there was the way it came out too was really hard to sort of wrap our heads. Like, I was literally out at the site at 6:30 in the morning, putting boats in and getting ready to ski, and people coming up to me and going, "Pete, they've cancelled the Worlds." I'm like, "Well, I'm running the thing. I don't know anything about it." So, that was pretty rough to cope with. Then it became a game of, well, how do we deal with this? Like, we've got to get all the teams home, and we sort of just we sort of did what we could to make everybody else's journey a bit easier into that next little bit. And then Australia shut down. Like, Australia literally just shut down for 6 weeks. Like, you weren't allowed out of your home. We went from like this super busy about to run the World Championships to me getting up in the morning and going, literally have nothing to do but go and mow the lawns at those ski parks. So financially, it was a bit of a hit. Financially, it hurt pretty hard. We did have, like, our sponsors that year were just phenomenal. Like the people we hired the grandstands off, we got a credit for those grandstands and are now using that for this Worlds. Like, there was some pretty amazing, stories within it. But it hurt. The team, like the Australian team, it broke us a little bit. Our local show team, we started to basically rebuild that from scratch almost. Like, everybody had to go and get jobs and become real people and disappear from water skiing. And because even the next summer we weren't able to do our shows and stuff. So
Did you guys want to host again right away in 2022, or had that ship sailed because that host had already been announced? What was that thought process there?
We were well aware of what was happening in 2022, and it tied in really well with the water skiing anniversary. We just had our Worlds pulled from us, so the last thing we wanted to do was to pull somebody else's. So Yeah, so we never really wanted to do that one. What we wanted, I guess, was a seat at the table so that we were still in the discussions about the next ones. And I guess there was something we wanted to prove that we could do it. And um, yeah, there was an emotional side of it that you're like, oh, hey, this hurt us. We want to come back. We want to be able to. This doesn't want to. This can't be the end of our story. So. And I'm 41 now, and back then I was 35 and skiing. So we didn't want that to be, oh, that's the end of the story. And like half of our team now have kids. So it was a big deal for us to go, right. Not only do we want to do it, we want to have it back in Australia. We want to put on that show for the home crowd, and people can see what it is we can do.
You guys expecting a big home crowd? Is the locals going to turn out?
I honestly don't know. I'd love to tell you that, like, our social media interaction suggests we're going to have a big crowd. We've got plenty of people on board. Like the talk is that we're going to have a good crowd. But I honestly don't know. Like, we won't know until we run it. We've never run something like this before.
Sure.
When we ran the Barefoot Worlds in 23, we had a night jump, and we had about 3,000 people turn up to that with a similar sort of advertising. So yeah, if we get that to happen, yeah, we'll be wrapped.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look, even if we just did the show skiing community, I think we're going to have 1,000 people there. So
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have all the teams there too are going to be in the stands. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people right there. Yeah.
There's quite a few people from the United States traveling and making a trip of it, so that'll be great.
Yeah, I'm guessing the stupid ad that I sent you guys for this podcast, that might have resonated with a few people, because I've had a few comments saying, "I heard your ad, we're coming out."
Yeah,
So
that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Can
That was
I
hilarious,
ask you
by the
guys,
way.
were you expecting that when I said, "Can I do an ad"? Were you expecting me to send you that garbage?
No,
Yes. I thought it was great. I thought it
it
was
was
a great ad.
hilarious. Adam
It was
like,
awesome.
Adam said this is the best ad we've ever had. He loved it.
Oh, good. Well, good. Good. It was a bit
It was
silly.
hilarious. It was
fun to make, though.
funny. It was well received, and hopefully some
good.
more people are going to Australia as a
Yeah,
result.
I hope so. It was fun. It was fun to do.
Speaking
Fun
of
to do.
ads, we have another sponsor on our podcast that Paul Stokes from your Barefoot days. You know Paul?
Do know Paul, great fella. Yep.
Yeah. Did you
And
guys
he's a
compete
sponsor.
against each other?
Sort of, in a way. So I went at my end of my juniors, when I just started skiing in the Open. Paul was sort of at the end of his career as an Open, but then we did ski together in figure eight comps and stuff after that as well. He became a phenomenal figure eight skier.
Yeah, well, it's great. Paul is a fantastic insurance agent with American Family Insurance, and you should check him out. Paul's tagline is "Get stoked, stay stoked," and he's got 2 opportunities for show skiers. So listen up.
Yeah, that's right. His Get Stoked process is his easy quoting process. Contact Paul to get an insurance quote, and your team will get $30 donated directly to your team by Paul, just for getting a quote. And he's also giving away free barefoot lessons. Now, I think I've got everybody's attention with that. He had a booth at Think Tank with info, but if you missed it, reach out to him today. He's got 2 clinics for teams and 1 for individuals, all completely free.
That's right. The Paul Stokes American Family Insurance Agency is giving back at no obligation. Contact him today to get a quote or to get more information on the barefoot lessons. Get stoked and stay stoked with Paul Stokes and American Family Insurance.
All right, Pete, the real reason you're on the podcast is to talk to us about Team Australia.
Okay.
What can we expect? Give us your act order. What do you got for jumpers?
Look, I can give it to you. Australia. Look, we're going to do the most complicated show we've probably done, and that is a direct response to Team America, like trying to keep up and be as good as we can be. We want to put on the best show that we can for our home crowd. It will be different to what we've done in the past, in that the Australian sense of humour, I guess, is a little different, and we want to make sure that our jokes are well received here. You guys will be funny. The Belgian team will be hilarious, and Canada are always great. But the expectation on us to do something good is going to be a little higher than normal. So
Yeah.
we want to make sure that our show's funny. But I think I've got 6 costume changes in our show,
Wow.
and I probably don't have as many as some of the other ones. We're doing something that's a little complicated, and it should be really fun. I hope it's fun, and we got some cool acts in there. Tell me more
You,
about your show, though. What can we expect from you guys?
well, that's funny. You should, our show, so you watched on the webcast in 2022, and that was one of our best shows ever, I would say. From a difficulty and execution standpoint, our show in 2022 Worlds was as good as we've ever done.
Incredible. Yeah.
It'll probably be similar in nature. We've had a little bit of change in personnel. It ebbs and flows a little bit, but we're going to have the similar high level jumping, very similar jumping, similar swivel skiing. Our girls' talent has exploded on the freestyle jump side, so we're going to probably have a quad girls front flip, all girls, 4-girl front flip. We're going to probably have
That's sick.
a double girls, double one ski front flip. So things like that are exciting little additions to our show. But, I've been watching your stuff online. It's been super cool to see. And we had talked to Caroline and Darian, who were out coaching swivelers in Australia. Your talent has continued to ascend in such a cool way. I love watching it. You guys have probably 8 or 9 girls that are doing 1080s and 1440s now. And you got Jake still kicking butt on the ramp among other guys. You have a lot of talent, which is super cool.
Yeah, we're really excited. There's no doubt that our swivel skiers have lifted. Our swivel skiing is really come along. We still don't have the depth that I think that America has, and we may never because we just don't have as many people doing it. But where we used to get to a worlds and we'd have 1 or 2 swivelers that were, you guys would go, geez, they're great swivelers. Now we might have 6 or 7, and that's pretty cool. And that's been those girls have been phenomenal, just training so hard. Jump's really cool. You're going to see a few new jumpers on our team. That's really good. So and we're trying to do a few new acts too that we haven't done before, and try and hopefully, we've got a flip over a shoe skier and stuff. We're going to try and do a few things. Can we talk themes? Are you guys are we allowed to talk?
Yeah,
themes?
for sure. Let's do it. What's your theme, and then we can share about ours.
So we're doing Australia versus cinema. Which is kind of fun. So the idea is that our show sort of goes through a few different movies and tries to find the right one that we should be doing for the show ski world. So that's the sort
that's
of
fun.
that's it. Yeah, it can be fun. Depends. If Dave and I are funny,
sure.
It'll be fun. If we're a bit flat that day, you might put your headphones in and just watch the ski. What about you guys?
We're doing a 50s diner. Johnny's
sick.
All American Diner, and I've been sent over to Australia to franchise.
Awesome. So you guys will have awesome music in that. That's
We
really
will.
fun.
So we stole the theme from the Mad City Ski Team back here. So Adam and I did this theme 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so then we have adopted it for the USA show. All the props that we have a whole diner set.
Dude, we sent over a whole shipping crate full. We have an entire diner set. It's ridiculous.
We do.
That's awesome.
But it's adapted. This show we've changed the script, changed the theme to be to what Adam said. We're franchising one in Australia. Adam has a counterpart on stage, his nephew, who is going to take over the diner. There's a love interest. There's all 50s rock and roll music and cool costumes. So it's going to be fun.
That'll be great. That'll be really fun. Looking forward to that. That's cool.
Pete, how different from a personnel standpoint, how different is your team from 2020 versus now?
In terms of if you just look at the names, there's about 70% of the team still there, and there's some new, there's a few new skiers, and we're really stoked with the new guys and girls that have come on are great. They're, just the last year just been putting in so hard. It's really cool to see. But it is a really different team in that, like I said, I'm over 40, Brutus is over 50, Dave is retired, Ray's retired, Brad and Kylie have got 2 kids. Jake's got 2 kids. Bowden and Brianna have got a kid. Bo's got 3 kids. the team dynamic is different. Where we used to get on the bank and there'd be a whole heap of joking around and swearing and stuff you shouldn't say. Now there's kids running around and there's,
Yeah.
like you're trying to stop kids falling in the water. So it's a very different team than it was, and hopefully better. But the I guess the element that's stuck the same is the fun side of it. We still there just loving it. So that bit's the same.
I have to imagine your team is hungry and excited to ski at Worlds after having not performed at Worlds since 2018.
Well, and not just that, Matt. In 2018, we did something that we didn't know we were capable of doing. So in the second round of 2018, we actually beat the Americans. And
Outscored the Americans, you
yeah,
bet.
and there was a lot of things that happened in that Worlds that helped. Like conditions weren't great, and but it definitely was. Oh, guys, there's something here. Like we're not just going there for second place. We can really give this a nudge. And our goal at that point had always to be just put on the best show that we were capable of doing. And while that goal is still goal number one, there's a belief here that I don't know if you've seen the movie Miracle, right? But 9 times out of 10, like on paper, you guys are going to beat us. But there's that one time where we might have a chance, and so we're really going to give that chance the best that we can. And I think everybody is moving in that direction. Everyone's jumping with the idea of God, I got to land this because this might be our one chance. And
That's fun. That's exciting. That is super cool. Like there was a time in 2012 and 2014 where there was a huge gap between the United States and the rest, and then that gap has closed and closed and closed, and now it's at a point where you guys are playing to win. Like you're at home, you're hungry, you haven't skied at Worlds, and you believe that you can win with the right show, and that is awesome. That's super cool.
yeah, well, look, we're going to give it our best shot. That's for sure, Matt. And we won't leave whether we win or lose. I guess is both will be great outcomes because we won't leave anything on the table. I'll say that. Like we'll be making sure that everything is as good as it can be. And what do you think of our site, Matt? So like our site is pretty different to what you guys have skied on.
Yeah, so I like it. We've skied. So the most recent practices we had and where our Division I Nationals was at in Indiana is a really small site, really small.
Yeah.
So we started to get familiar with skiing on a much smaller site, and it's great. It lends itself to a fast-paced show. That type of lake, it calms out pretty quick. Everything's kind of right in front of you. I really like it. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to set up for a great viewing for the audience. It's going to be a fun show. You guys have a beautiful site set up there, and then the practice lake behind. Like the whole thing, I think, is set up to be super successful. I'm excited to put our show on there and start practicing on it and see what that's like. But I'm excited for it.
Yeah, you nailed it then too. The smaller site really leaves nowhere to hide on it, but at the same time, it means that the action is really constant. It is a great site to put a show on because it just feels like there's stuff happening all the time. It's really cool like that.
Yep, love that.
Pete, placement aside, what would make this a successful? What would you consider a success for this world tournament?
If you guys all leave and had a good time. So like if you guys come out here and Belgium and Canada and Sweden, and if everybody's here and the presentation night happens and you're like, God, we had fun, that will be a huge thing. Because like if the site's not right, you're not going to have a good time. And if you don't like the way we did stuff, you're not going to have a good time. But if you guys are all at that presentation night and you're like, geez, that was a really good time, then like that for us is a success. And because the officials will take care of whether the tournament runs smoothly or not, and the boats will take care of how they perform, and like there's a lot of things that are really out of our control, but we want to make sure that you feel welcome and that you've had a great time.
I don't doubt that will happen, and we're excited for it. What will make it a success for us is if you guys install a mini ramp and you have that ready to go, and when practice when the tournament begins.
I was waiting for that to come up.
Yep, there it is. There it is.
The mini ramp. You've no idea how many hours I spent on that mini ramp, Matt.
I know,
Jeez.
man. I
would
know. I
love
just
to
want
have
to
had
give
it.
you a hard time.
Yeah. Hopefully you get here and you go, oh, yeah, I can see their point.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all good.
Yeah.
Final question. What can we expect with closing ceremonies? So, like, this episode's, we're right on the eve of the World Tournament. Tournaments wrapped up, awards, closing ceremonies. What's that going to look like?
So, well, let's actually do both. The welcoming ceremonies at our ski club, and it's a tiny little harbour. So the ski show there will be really cool. Like, you can literally high-five the jumpers when they land.
I do not know how you do a ski show there. I'm excited to see that.
It's really fun. And then the closing ceremony, we don't have the room. We've already got 450 booked into the closing ceremony. So it's going to be a big night. So we don't have room at our club to hold that. So we're doing it at the golf club. So drinks on the 18th hole, and like to start off with at 5:30. Then we move inside to the big ballroom there, and it should be like, a good fun night that ends with the band we've got for the end is just a band that plays music we can all dance and sing along to. It's a real sociable band. And then, and for you guys, that might mean being up all night and getting straight on the bus, because you guys leave like early on the Monday morning.
Some of us do. About half of our group is leaving right away and heading home. About half is staying an extra week and traveling, and that half isn't leaving until 12 or 1 o'clock that next morning.
Yeah, but that half is packing all the equipment.
All of our crates and all of our equipment that on Monday morning.
I think we should have a chat to Dan Wang. You know what? Next Worlds, let's make Monday a recovery day.
Yes.
You ever been to a wedding? You have a recovery day. Let's make the Monday the World's recovery day.
Mandatory holiday recovery day.
Good plan.
Yeah, love it.
Yep. Well, we're super excited for this World Tournament. Best of luck to Team Australia. Thank you for hosting again. And thanks for all you do for show skiing, Pete. We really appreciate having you on the show today.
Thanks for having us on the show. And Matt, literally cannot wait for you guys to get here. It's going to be great. Adam, we're so excited. So
awesome.
We're excited to get there.
Well, there's no shortage of fun there talking to Pete. He's awesome, man.
I could talk to that guy for hours. In fact, Matt, maybe, he could be a host of the podcast.
He should be a host of the podcast.
He should host the Ski Show Awards.
Yes. Pete, you want to come? We can't pay you to be here. We have no money, but if you want to come host the Ski Show Awards with us, we'd love it.
It's beautiful in February in Wisconsin.
Oh,
it really is.
Just as beautiful as March in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks to Pete, man. All the lengths they're going to in hosting the World Tournament. Exciting times. Great for the sport. Great for Team Australia. Sure is going to be fun. Thank you this episode to our sponsors, Flyman Skis, custom-made jump skis, featherboard swivel skis at affordable prices. Get yours at flymanskis.com. Thank you to Sega Sports, Ski and Gymnastics Academy, trampoline training, water ski lessons. Visit them at segasports.us. And the Paul Stokes American Family Insurance Agency. Paul's a fantastic insurance agent. You can get $30 back for every member of your team that goes through his Get Stoked quoting process. So hit up Paul Stokes at American Family Insurance.
And thanks again to all of our listeners and viewers. This is Matt and Adam, and this is The Ski Show.
Thank you for listening to The Ski Show, the ultimate show ski podcast with Matt and Adam. If you have questions or ideas for the show, find us on social media or message us at theskishowpodcast@gmail.com.